Now, your husband is 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If he wins a second term, he would be 82 at inauguration. What do you say to those people who say maybe he's too old to be president? Are those fair questions and conversations to be having?
I say, look at what he's done. You know, look at what he's doing. Look at how physically he's got the good bill of health from the doctors through his physicals. But how many 30-year-olds could travel to Poland, get on the train, go 9 more hours, go to Ukraine, meet with President Zelensky?
Morning, Mr. President.
His energy level, his level of passion. So look at the man, look what he's doing, look what he continues to do each and every day, and make your decision. It's up to the American people.
Nikki Haley, one of the Republican candidates, is calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we haven't even discussed, we would never even discuss something like that.
You talked a little bit about your husband traveling to Ukraine and Poland this past week. You also have told us that you found out kind of last minute that he was going to be making this secret trip to Ukraine. What was it like for those 10 hours when he was taking that train ride into Ukraine and no one knew? How worried were you in those moments?
I was, of course, worried. I mean, I was really worried. But you know, one thing, and I have to say this with all my heart, one thing that I truly believe in is the strength of our military and how everything was so planned out, and the Secret Service, and what an amazing job they did in pulling off the trip and keeping my husband safe. I mean, I'm watching the TV this morning and I'm seeing, it's just incredible what's going on in the air and in the sea, and I hope that Americans really take note of it. Like, we have to give the support, all of our support, to our military because of what a great job they do. And the Secret Service is right there, hand in hand.
Were you able to keep tabs on him when he was? Did you communicate
text,
through text?
You know, yeah, through text.
Was he texting you on the train?
Well, he was. No, he wasn't texting me on the train, but you know, it was in the back of my mind, and so I mean, I was kind of aware that he was, you know, safe, and I just said a lot of prayers.
Did he give you a call when he made it back into Poland?
Oh yes, yeah.
And
yeah.
What was his reflection on this clandestine trip?
We didn't really talk about it. I think it'll be just better to talk about it in private, you know.
Yeah. Have you had the chance to talk to him about this trip yet?
Oh yeah, we've spoken a couple times and FaceTimed, and so yeah, and he looks great. I mean, so he doesn't look tired or yeah.
How often do you guys FaceTime?
I don't know, a couple times a day.
Even if you're just in DC, or when you're traveling?
Well, I'm traveling. I'm at work.
Yeah.
I mean, he calls. He calls a lot.
Does he call you more, or do you call him more?
I think he calls me more.
I want to turn to another issue that has come up amongst Republicans a lot, and your son Hunter has really been a target for Republicans over the years and likely will be in the years to come. How does your family deal with that intense focus on Hunter?
We deal with it by just, I guess, have a different perspective. I mean, I love Hunter, and I'll support him in any way I can, and that's how I look at things.
Has the wave of investigations into him, does that factor into any of the thinking heading into 2024?
No.
The Justice Department has appointed a special counsel to look into the way that your husband handled classified documents when he left the vice presidency. When did you first find out about these documents? Were you surprised?
Probably when the rest of America did. I was really surprised. We had no idea, and so I think we found out when everybody else did.
Where in the house were they? Were they in a secure location? Could people have access to them?
Well, I think they were at the Biden Penn Center.
And there was some at your home in Wilmington as well.
Yeah, and I think those were in the garage. And believe me, Arlette, I am not, I haven't even, I don't have time to go through, the boxes in the garage. I mean, we had no idea they were even down there.
I wanted to turn back to one campaign question. You and I.
You're not giving up.
No, I'm not. But
See, you're saying everybody's asking you. There you go.
Everyone's
Arlette.
asking you. Do you ever worry about how grueling a campaign might be on him?
I think every campaign is grueling. I don't care whether you're 20, 30, or whatever age. Campaigns now have become really grueling. And Arlette, you've been on a lot of campaigns. You have to see the difference between even 10 years ago and today.
I know you guys are really big into these family meetings.
Uh-huh.
Was there one definitive family meeting that, okay, we're doing this, or has this been a rolling conversation?
It's been rolling this time. Last time we did have a family meeting, and we've had family meetings other times. But it's sort of rolling just because of the pace of our lives. And so if I can grab two grandkids here and say, hey, what are you thinking about? What are your thoughts? Or, our daughter. So I'm sort of keeping tabs.
So in your mind, this is happening?
Absolutely. You want to come? You want to come on the trail?
I might be covering you guys on the trail again.
Oh, good.
We are back now with Arlette. We're also joined, luckily, by Audie Cornish and Abby Phillip. Arlette, I'm going to start with you. So you asked all of the questions that I think the American public has been discussing about Joe Biden, and then you get into what Jill Biden has been up to. Were you surprised by any of her answers?
I think that her answer regarding 2024 is quite interesting. I think the way that she answered that question really makes it seem as if it's not a matter of if, but when this campaign will be launched. But she also does leave an opening for him should he decide not to run in 2024. She says it's Joe's decision, and they'll support him if he does. And then she says, but if he decides to do something else, we'll also support him there. So it kind of provides you a little bit of answer both ways. But these conversations that I had with her over the course of those 5 days in Africa, it really does seem like things are moving towards him running for re-election again in the coming months.
I do want to ask about this controversy. I don't know if that's what to call it, but over age. It's come up again and again, and Nikki Haley pushed it to a whole nother level when she talked about a competency test. Jill Biden responded with, it's ridiculous. Audie, what do you make of her response to that?
I mean, first of all, I think she's more sure-footed in general in terms of how she approaches the press and talks to the press. She's been in this game for a very long time. It's a little bit different from First Lady Michelle Obama, who married someone who was not in public life when they first got together. Jill Biden's been in this for a while. But it also underscores the problem for them. Here they are, she's on a trip, visiting countries in Africa. The posture that this administration has had towards Africa is radically different than the prior administration. But it's a conversation that can't be had because not only are people focused on whether he's going to run, but even being able to ask the question, should he at all because of his age? I mean, that really, I think, gives you a sense of the kind of obstacles for them.
It also struck me that she was answering the question over and over again at every chance that she got, even when Arlette wasn't asking her about it. She's talking.
She was ready with an answer.
Yeah, I mean, she's talking about the Ukraine trip. She's talking about his stamina, his ability to do all of that. I mean, I think she is keenly aware that this is an unavoidable question about her husband, and she is injecting at every moment an opportunity to say, this is a guy who can keep up. This is a guy who has what it takes, who's all there. And, I mean, to Audie's point, Jill Biden is perhaps one of the most prepared women to ever be First Lady because of how long that she has been Joe Biden's wife. And I didn't really see any doubt in her in this interview. I think she thinks her husband can do it, and she's kind of wondering why we keep asking her about it. And that really, I think, tells you everything that you need to know. She would probably be the first to say, it's time for us to take a step back, and that's not a woman who wants to take a step back.